Tonight on DC News Now, multiple people set on fire in a targeted terrorist attack. The safety measures groups in the DMV are taking to keep people safe.
5 people who are visually impaired are taking the district to court.
The APS are placed in the wrong place, or they're not working at all, or they're not there at all.
They say the city is not doing enough to keep crosswalks safe.
Hey everyone, tracking the 80s and near 90-degree temperatures this week. I have your forecast. It's coming up.
I heard the dogs going bananas, so I look out on my balcony to see what the fuss is about, and it's a bear.
A furry face popping up again in Maryland. One woman doing a double take to see what's wandering in her backyard.
We are following breaking news right at 10. A person shot and killed in Northeast. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for DC News Now. I'm Susan Tramp.
And I'm Chris Flanagan. This all happened in the Trinidad neighborhood, just a few blocks from the community rec center there. It's a live look at that scene along the 1600 block of Trinidad Avenue. You can see the big police response right now. Police first got a call just before 8 tonight for that shooting. Our crew is on scene right now gathering information. Of course, we'll pass along any updates as they come in here to our newsroom.
Now to another targeted attack being investigated as an act of terror against the Jewish community. A man is charged with a federal hate crime. Mohammed Salomon is accused of using a flamethrower and homemade explosives, hurting a dozen people. New court documents from Boulder, Colorado, saying that he yelled "Free Palestine," and police believe he acted alone.
Yeah, that accused attacker targeted a group known as Run for Our Lives. They've been advocating for the release of hostages in Gaza.
In fact, they have a local chapter in Northern Virginia who now are really growing concerned for their own safety. DC News Now's Max Marcilla joining us live in the studio.
And Max, I know tonight you spoke with the lead organizer of the group. Clearly, it's been an emotional 24 hours for them, and they're now on really a heightened alert.
Right, it's been an emotional time, but also a time for them to think about their own safety, because this group has similar walks, and the leader of the group we spoke with says she loves walking weekly in the DC area, raising awareness of the remaining hostages in Gaza. But after seeing what happened to fellow members of her organization in Colorado, she has concerns about their safety.
To think that there would be such a bad actor that would attack a group just peacefully walking was horrifying.
Jamie Bollier says finding out about the attack in Colorado was a shock.
Bring them home now.
She leads the Northern Virginia chapter of Run for Their Lives, telling us every week they walk around different parts of the DC area.
We have a short program where we talk about one of the hostages or talk about current events that are happening around the hostage situation and negotiations, and then we take a short 1-mile walk and carry posters of those people.
After the attack, where a dozen people were injured, Bollier says they may take a short pause from their own walks until they can be sure they will be kept safe.
We're now investigating whether we have a police escort or just make sure that we're notifying local law enforcement in advance of our walks and letting them know of the times and locations that we'll be walking.
The group already keeps the locations of the walks private unless you're a part of the group. This comes weeks after 2 Israeli embassy staff members were shot and killed outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Northwest Washington. Bollier says what happened to her fellow advocates will not deter the group's only mission of bringing the remaining hostages home.
We just want them to come home after 605 days.
And now tonight we're hearing from a couple police departments, including Fairfax and Montgomery counties. They say they have increased their police presence around Jewish buildings in their communities to reduce anti-Semitic incidents. Reporting live in the studio, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
All right, Max, for that update. Thanks. Meanwhile, all new tonight, a DC teacher arrested and charged with receiving child porn. The FBI says Devon Brown requested nude photos from a 15-year-old girl in Prince George's County, Maryland. Now, we're sharing his photo because the FBI believes there may be more victims. They allege Brown paid the child and potentially others for nude photos and videos over Cash App. Court documents say Brown is a health teacher at Idea Public Charter School in Northeast D.C. He's also associated with the track club Project Impact Sports, both in D.C. and Maryland. If you or any children you know have any information about possible crimes, you're asked to reach out to the FBI.
An update now on a deadly shooting in Maryland. Prince George's County Police, they've arrested a teen for a killing on Allentown Road. Now, Christian Okubo is now facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder. They say the 18-year-old shot Anthony Bullock Friday morning in Temple Hills. Police say that the two knew each other, but it's not clear what led up to the shooting.
All new tonight, a Romanian man pleads guilty to swatting victims all across the U.S. They include members of Congress and a former U.S. president. Swatting is falsely reporting emergency incidents to spark really large police responses. Court documents showed Thomas Szabo founded an online community that engaged in swatting. It includes a threat in 2021 to set off explosives outside the U.S. Capitol and kill the president-elect. The document does not name any victims, but the president-elect at that time was now former President Biden. The documents go on to say the group swatted at least 25 members of Congress or their family members, at least 6 executive branch officials, and more than a dozen federal law enforcement officials. Szabo is set to be sentenced in October.
All right, let's talk about our local forecast, and what a way to start June off. It was gorgeous today.
Not a bad evening as well, Janessa.
Yeah, you gotta love really dry conditions,
Yes.
No storms, and pretty comfortable temperatures as well. Things are gonna change in that department as we start to heat up across the region. If you're looking for some summer heat, that is moving in pretty quickly. Tonight, though, we'll stay on the comfortable end into the 50s, 60s, under a lot of clearing right now across the DMV. High pressure is taking over up and down the East Coast, and that's why you're basking in all this sunshine. But we do have some minor concerns in its air quality. That's that orange color that's coming in from Ohio, parts of GA, and then the upper Midwest. Tonight, we'll sit under the 50s, clear skies, but here's the problem area. We have smoke that's coming in from all those wildfires that are brewing across central Canada. That's going to change things, and if you have respiratory problems, definitely there's a slight danger for you going into the next 24 hours. We'll talk more about it coming up.
All right, Janessa, thank you. For most of us, crossing the street in the district, it means having to look out for turning cars and maybe a bike or two.
Yeah, but for the visually impaired, alerts and vibrations of the crosswalk are life-saving. A warning when it's safe to step off the sidewalk.
Walk sign is on to cross M Street.
Well, there is now a new class action lawsuit accusing the district of failing to do enough to keep everyone safe. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg is in Northwest at 14th Street and New York Avenue with some of the dangers the advocates are sharing.
Yeah, guys, when you typically go to an intersection, we're all familiar with the walk sign or the one that says stop, so you know when to cross the street. But for those who are blind or visually impaired, they have these stop buttons that you are supposed to be able to press it, and it says either wait or you are free to cross the street. The problem is, not all of them work, and they are not at every intersection.
Walk sign is on to cross M Street.
What you're hearing is an accessible pedestrian signal, or APS. They help blind people like Kudsia Naki get around safely.
A lot of the times the APS are placed in the wrong place, or they're not working at all, or they're not there at all. And sometimes they're too quiet, so I can't hear them.
That's why she and 4 others are suing DC. There are visual pedestrian signals at more than 1,600 intersections, but Naki says only a fraction have accessible pedestrian signals.
We're trained to listen for parallel traffic and to listen to traffic patterns. That's kind of how we get around. But in DC, that can be extra challenging because of the complexities of the streets.
Take the intersection of 14th Street and New York Avenue Northwest. Most of the buttons are covered, and the one that isn't doesn't work.
Some of our plaintiffs have had really scary close calls where they've started to cross a street and somebody has had to pull them back.
Naki says often she'll choose a route that's all perpendicular streets.
Wait.
Easier to navigate, but costs her a time tax.
Sometimes those routes, avoiding the diagonal streets, avoiding the circles, can take me up to double as long to walk.
It's not just inconvenient, but her lawyer says violates federal and local law.
We hope that with this lawsuit, we can work together with the district to make sure that we have safe intersections for people who live here, people who travel here, people who visit here.
Now, this lawsuit comes on the heels of similar successful lawsuits in both New York City and Chicago, where those cities were found to be in violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and they now have to install thousands of accessible pedestrian signals. In Northwest, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Stay on the topic of some concerning crosswalks here. Staying in the district, relief for drivers and families in Northeast. An intersection known for crashes, high blood pressure, and constant honking is now safer. Local leaders unveiling a fix to what was one of the most dangerous intersections in the city. This is a 2-year, $41 million project that redesigns that intersection there at New York and Florida Avenues, once known as Dave Thomas Circle.
Adding clarity both makes, for people who are paying attention and trying to drive carefully, it's sensible and it makes sense. And for those who get frustrated by waiting, it diminishes that, and so they're no longer doing reckless things.
The redesign includes 3 new public parks, protected bike lanes, and expanded sidewalks. It's renamed Mamie Peanut Johnson Plaza, honoring the first woman to pitch in the Negro Leagues. She also spent much of her time living in D.C.
Pride Month is now underway, and Prince George's County held its Pride flag raising ceremony. The flag flies now outside the administration building here in Largo. The event celebrates the contributions of the LGBTQ+ community all throughout the county. This marks the 2nd year for the flag raising. You may recall there's a controversy 2 years ago when some say the flag was raised quietly in the middle of the night with no ceremony.
2 cell phone policies for students in Northern Virginia, one from Fairfax County, the other from the governor. The new law says that Governor Glenn Youngkin had just signed calls for a bell-to-bell policy restricting cell phone use during the entire school day, while the Fairfax County School Board guidelines saying that high school students can use their phones during lunch period. School leaders say that the language in their regulations are aligned with the governor's policy.
It is not a ban because students are able to bring their phones into schools. They're just restricted from their usage.
Now, the governor's office, we did reach out to the governor's office to clarify if the new law supersedes local regulations, and the press secretary saying this legislation codifies bell-to-bell cell phone policy for all Virginia schools.
All right, staying in Virginia, students in Stafford County can grab a free meal over the summer. They can eat breakfast or lunch at 7 schools across the district starting Monday. Meal kits will also be available. That's on a first-come, first-served basis. You can find a full list of schools, times, and dates on our website, dcnewsnow.com. Just search Stafford County Schools.
Coming up on DC News Now.